There's one reason why most people are not successful, and it's not what you think. It's their intention is very low. If you've ever worked with someone that said, "Hey, I'm really great tactically at my job when things are going wrong, maybe all hands on deck to figure out whatever crisis of the day is," but they're not great at advancing their career or thinking strategically or thinking over the long term, it's because they haven't had that intention to have a bigger impact in their job. If somebody is saying, "Hey, the feeling in my relationship isn't the same as when we first got together," it's a low intention to build an intimate relationship with excitement, closeness. If people are saying, like, "Hey, I don't really have the motivation," it's this idea that they don't have the intention to have a bigger serve at a greater level, serve with excellence, serve at the next level of their capabilities. So don't blame your lack of motivation for a lack of scale for your impact. And so, how do we really ensure that we're intending to have a bigger impact, have a bigger life, have a bigger influence in our lives? And that is to aim higher in our ambitions, to actually want more. And I know sometimes this makes people feel really weird. And as a certified high performance coach, a lot of what I do is helping people achieve more or achieve a next level of their career or relationships or health or whatnot by pushing people, but also in a way where it's sustainable and in a way where you don't burn out in the process. Because there's also the folks that are highly successful, especially high performers, and adding one more thing or reaching that next level of pace of work, of contribution, of impact seems like it will just break you. And we don't want that. So, how do we aim higher in our ambitions? And part of it is just getting clear on what our intentions really are. And that's meta. But again, it looks, if you had to imagine your life in 1 year, if it takes you more than a couple minutes to be able to explain that right now, if you're like, "Oh, I have to think about it. And is that really what I want?" You're probably not clear enough on what your big ambition is. Because imagine if you knew that, right? If you knew that you wanted to scale by a factor of 10 your company, if you wanted to deliver a higher quality product than what you currently are in your job or business, how would your processes change to achieve that? If you had to double or triple it today, how would your feeling about the things that you're doing? Like, so many people feel like they get stuck in a rut because they're just comfortable, right? And you're not really pushing yourself. But sometimes this idea of aiming higher reinvigorates you and energizes you to reach that next level. How would you be taking more bold actions if you were very clear on that vision and had something that almost seemed audacious, right? They personal development terms, they call it the moonshot. And it's because it's such a huge leap that it doesn't seem like it's possible. But with dedication and consistency, and for the things that we're going to talk about here in a minute, you can reach that next level. As we delve into these 4 ideas for you, in order to help support that big idea, help you get clear on that big idea, I want to let you know that, again, I'm a high performance coach. I do this every day with my clients. I'd love to see if I can help you out. If you are wondering, do I need a coach? Or what is this certified high performance coaching process? There's a link below this video that you can check out. And I will, you fill out an application, you get an hour on the calendar schedule, and then we dive into your life and we build a customized plan for you to go out and feel that the power of coaching, helping you get clear on your life, helping you align the different areas of your life so you feel more authentic and engaged and working through any struggles or issues you have. So if you are interested or even on the fence, make sure you hit that link below and fill out the application. We'll go from there. Outside, let's get into it. Okay. So what are the 4 things that can help support you having higher ambition and helping you figure out that higher ambition for each of the different areas of your life. The first is thinking about process, right? It's something that I personally hate, but love at the same time. And what do I mean by that? I find that structure helps keep me productive, helps me grow my podcast. Like I recently had a really amazing thing where I had 100 plus people submit through a service, be interviewed on my podcast, and I'm like, oh, I need to figure this out, and I need to figure this out quick in order to manage this new volume of people requesting to be on it, to figure out how to best serve people with high quality in the way that I like to in my brand. And so process needed to change just because volume changed, right? The ambition of, oh, if I can maybe increase the pace of when I release this podcast, that's going to put more good out in the world. And what else do I need to do? And process can help you scale. And one of the things that I learned when I worked at Walmart, writing code, doing web stuff for their merchandising department, is that anything I wrote and was like, okay, this is going to be good for the current client I had, we had to think also that if they like it, they're going to tell other people in other markets about the system and we'll have to help them out. How does that change how you approach coding? And so we can scale up quicker when the thing becomes more ingrained in the company, if that makes sense. Essentially, the belief is you have to think whatever you're designing now, imagine you're doing 10 times more of it in the future. And how would you build that process different in order to support that intention of scaling, right? Which is the whole theme of this video, is just that. What if I had to do more with what I had right now? How would I change, or how would I change my approach? So what kind of process are you going to need to support that big ambition? And what is your process for getting clear on that big ambition? In personal development, I've said this ad nauseum on my channel and in my newsletter, it's consistently journaling, it's consistently reflecting, with those quiet spaces that really help you dream and think bigger. And not settling for okay is another thing that people talk about a lot. But I think reflection is here. So if you had to have a process to get clear, we'll talk about it in that term, what would you need to implement? Would it be a morning journaling session or an evening journaling session, or finding a coach or mentor to talk things through? There's a couple of different ideas, but what would you do? And there's no wrong answer. There's just an unproven answer. So whatever you're thinking right now is probably okay. I personally love talking to a coach. I personally love journaling. I personally love talking things through with my family and friends. And the coaching one is a little self-serving. I realize as I say that, but it's really helped me in my life, which is why I love coaching and love to coach. But the other two, completely outside of what I do and really super important. So what process can help you aim higher, achieve more than you think you're capable? Once you have that identified, then really becomes consistency, right? If you are thinking about your ambitions once a year at New Year's, it's going to be a different experience than if you are once a month thinking about your big ambitions and whether you need to push yourself a little more every week or every day. And the cadence and consistency of connecting to that idea, the consistency and the process that you do to help support those big ideas and dreams are also going to help you. So, what is your process? How consistent can you get it? How do you get consistent? My number one tip for that is just putting things on the dang calendar, right? So many times, just a reminder or knowing that I'm like, oh, I made a commitment to myself, and taking that really seriously, especially when you own a business, is really important. But it's also like ingrained in corporate America. If it's on the calendar, the meeting happens. It's surprising how trained people are to that, myself included, right? So utilize it. utilize it to help you build your amazing, clear, bold future. The third component to supporting your higher ambition is, what do you need to learn? And this can be a part that generates a lot of excitement, especially if you're a big nerd like me. I love learning. And I know that in my tech career, the times when I was the happiest and most motivated and most committed is when I was learning a new process, a new technology, a new thing out in the world, because it's fun. I find that to be super enjoyable. And when you're just in a maintenance mode, you've written a bunch of automated tests and you're just running the same thing over and over again and making minor tweaks as things break, not as fun, boring. But that act of, what am I learning? Am I learning something that helps me become a better human or a better professional or a better partner in a relationship, a better friend? These things can help motivate you in the process, especially if you are consistently putting that on your calendar and you have a process for learning things. And there's tons of that stuff you can go on Google for. Jim Quick, Tim Ferriss are really like two people that are really good at learning. So check that out. And the last thing to really consider when you need to aim higher, have that intention of serving with excellence and service and all of that, is to assume the identity of a high performer. It could be the identity of an expert coach, expert podcaster, expert coder, an expert runner, an expert spouse, expert, whatever that is for you, because you'll shift in your psychology of, I am great at this. I'm striving to be even better at it, to perfect this thing. And that's who I am. That could be the difference between wanting to run every week, every day, each week, and then putting on the dang shoes, putting on your workout stuff, getting outside and doing the hour run because you are a runner and you've assumed that identity. It could be the difference between, instead of giving your spouse the worst energy you have when you get home, taking that beat before you go walk through the door after work and being like, I'm here to love this person. I'm here to connect with this person. I really enjoy being with this person. And that whole, after that moment, all that changes in that relationship because you had the identity of, I am an expert spouse in that particular moment. And a great spouse wouldn't come in and gripe about a bunch of things, would come in and say, hey, I missed you. I love you. Something like that. So that's why we need to aim higher in our ambitions. And I realize this could also come off as just super optimistic. I get that a lot. But if you had a choice between being optimistic or being pessimistic and cynical about the world, what would you choose? You don't have to answer that. For me, it's optimism. It's believing that I can change the environment, the world around me. It served me well in my life. I know it'll serve you well in yours if you can adopt it. You don't already have it. But I imagine you don't watch a video like this if you don't feel like you have some impact in your environment and with those around you. So with that said, guys, aim higher in your emotion. Think about your process, your consistency, your learning, and your identity in that process. And we'll see you guys in the next video. This is Shawn Buttner signing off.